Hello. Good afternoon, everybody. So, to everyone out there who has seen WandaVision episodes 1 through 3 and has said that it's pretty boring, how do you like your crow, people? Do you like it deep fried? Maybe with some hot sauce? Might taste good with some hot sauce. Because regardless of what's going to happen, you're going to be eating this crow tonight. And I say that with the utmost respect. I know some people actually enjoy crow. And it could be very delicious, but it's something that I definitely never have tried before. I never partaked in crow. Never really had that sort of interest. But anyway, let's get to WandaVision Episode 5. Welcome to my channel. My name is LaVon Gittins, urban fantasy author. And here we discuss monsters, mankind, and madness. But we also do some fantasy and comic book reviews because that is also my thing. So let's just get into it. So we ended off last episode with Wanda's twin brother, Pietro, returning back to this hometown in Westfield. He just shows up at the door, sort of knocks on the door and says, "Hey, sis." However, it's the Quicksilver Pietro from another universe. See, for those who may not know, Marvel, Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver, the two twins, have two backstories that are sort of opposite. In one, they are Magneto's children, whereas the other, they are Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., as we've seen in the movies. But it looks like they recasted or they're using the Quicksilver from the X-Men universe, which makes me very excited because this means that the X-Men might be showing up very soon, as I predicted and as I've been wanting for so damn long. I want the X-Men in the MCU, and it looks like they're finally about to show up thanks to Quicksilver. And not for nothing, and no offense to the last Quicksilver, but I prefer this Quicksilver. I think his name is Evan Peters. His name is Evan Peters. I prefer him over the last one. Basically because I feel like Evan Peters, I've seen him through a bunch of different roles in American Horror Story, which I always thought he was great. And I don't know if you've seen American Horror Story, but each season they do a basically completely new story where each character or each actor plays a new character. So I got to see him in a wide range of different roles, and I got to see his complete skills. So I am there for him being in these movies as Quicksilver. I trust his abilities, and we've been waiting for this for a long time. Let's see what he can bring. So everyone pretty much just accepts that Quicksilver has sort of just moved into the neighborhood and into the house, including the kids who are basically just celebrating Halloween. It's their first Halloween, even though they're like maybe 7, 8 years old. But it is their first time celebrating it because it is just accepted that they're aging super fast, and no one really seems to have a problem with people being resurrected or aging fast in this universe that Wanda has created. Because it's their kids' first Halloween, Wanda wants them to all have, spend it as a family. However, Vision has different plans. He says he's going to be on a neighborhood watch, and they sort of start to get into an argument about it, and even the kids notice it. They mention, mom and dad, they really haven't been on the same page lately. Luckily for Vision, Quicksilver steps in and says that he's going to take over and help Wanda watch the kids on their first Halloween. So now we're back at the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. headquarters, where the leader, I forgot his little random name, he's not important, but he's being very disrespectful. First of all, he's really going after Wanda hardcore. He's saying, we gotta kill her, that's it. Ain't no choice in the matter, we just gotta kill her. Granted, he was threatened last episode, but he did sort of start it. So, I mean, I can see both sides, but then he did start it, so he should really calm down. So he's really going after Wanda, taking no prisoners, saying that she needs to die. But Monica Rambeau gets involved, saying that she's been to this town, she understands how Wanda feels, what she's thinking, and again, that she doesn't think Monica is, or that Wanda is any sort of threat, and that there are other ways to reach her. Well, this guy doesn't want to hear it, and he gets OD disrespectful, calls out her dead mother, and basically fires her And everyone working with her just tells them, you know what? Your mother would be very disappointed right now, so get them out. I was shocked. I don't know what this guy's problem is, but something tells me he needs to go, and he needs to go sometime soon, because what he's doing is not right. Either he's working with somebody, or he's just a jerk. That should be eliminated anyway. So Wanda, Quicksilver, and the kids is out trick-or-treating, and Wanda herself is a bit confused. You know, she asks Pedro, where's your accent? Why you don't look the same? What's going on here? And he sort of fires it right back at her, like, where's yours? You don't look the same either. What's going on? So it's clear that there's some sort of confusion, but some sort of overlapping comfortability that everyone just seems to have with this random world and everything that's happening in it. So as these children are terrorizing the neighborhood, we learn that Little Speed obviously follows after his uncle and has the power of speed, which of course, again, no one seems to be concerned about or worried about. And Quicksilver is, of course, encouraging the whole thing. So as they start to terrorize the neighborhood, robbing everybody, beating up people, smashing pumpkins, and just being little jerks, Wanda learns that Vision actually lied to her earlier that day, that he would not be on nightly watch because that shift is already covered. And now she has no idea where he was going to be, but clearly he wasn't going to be where he said he was going to be. But she lets it go. For now. Then we have these commercials that keep coming in every episode. And this one was about a shark feeding on a product called Yo Magic. That shark said that he needed to eat Yo Magic in order to survive. And the kid in the commercial who did not eat the magic in the can did not survive. He turned into a zombie skeleton and withered away into nothing. These commercials, we gotta start putting them together. Maybe I'll put a video together of just playing them all back to back to back to back to back, and we can come up with some sort of theory. So we learn that in fact Vision is exploring the neighborhood and trying to figure out exactly what's going on. He starts walking towards the edge of Westfield, where it's a little blurry and people seem to be glitching a little bit. People are crying, repeating the same actions over and over and over again, not really responding. People at Sword can't tell if these people in Westfield are even dead or alive. Vision ends up running into Agnes, who I told you to watch out for, but now seems like she might not be as suspicious as I originally thought. She's in a car, parked, driving towards the edge of the town, and Vision comes up to her, does this little thing where he clears her mind, and she sort of reveals that she is, on some level, cognizant of the world around her. She completely acknowledges the fact that he's an Avenger and that he has died in the movies. She says, "You're an Avenger, you died here. Are you here to save us? What is going on?" And then, of course, like everyone else, eventually starts to have a meltdown where she becomes uncontrollable to a point where he has to zap her again and just stop her from crumbling into nothing. Vision is very upset. Angus, who is dressed like a witch, is very upset. Me watching this, I'm starting to get very upset as well. And the thing is, okay, so if you have ever been a fan of the X-Men comics, especially as much as I have, then you know that Scarlet Witch has always, from the beginning of time, been extremely powerful but extremely unstable. She kind of got some problems she needs to work out, whether it's her daddy issues or whether it's her issues with her brother. She's always, or her children, she's always sort of going through something. It is my theory that Wanda herself might be the next Marvel big bad as she was in the comics before. Why? Because she's just as badass. They've already said in this series that Wanda could have possibly have taken on Thanos on her own. And if you remember the movies, she almost did. When she was like, "You've taken everything from me." And he was like, "I don't even know you." She's like, "I don't even care." And then they went off. She could possibly take on the entire Avengers on her own. This could make her a very interesting big bad. What do you guys think about that? So, after the general trick or treating, Pietro slash Quicksilver and Wanda slash Scarlet Witch are sitting down, basically sort of getting to know each other again for the first time. They're beginning to ask each other certain questions that they seemed to just let go. Pietro, for example, specifically asked her, Wanda, how did you do this? Where did you put all these kids in this town? Which is so interesting because from the very beginning I noticed there were no kids in this town, which means that there's something especially weird going around with these kids. There are a lot of theories and sort of Easter eggs that are saying that this has to do with Mephisto, as I said in my last video, and this just proves it right. Even the fact that Quicksilver turned into sort of a zombie gives sort of a devilish Easter egg towards what Mephisto is actually capable of. So Vision finally finds the end of Westfield and he finally escapes, except for once he passes through the barrier, he starts to fall apart. Very embarrassing, everyone. Very embarrassing. Like in front of the entire Sword army, he starts just disintegrating right before everyone's very eyes. Vision is falling apart and ain't nobody trying to help him or trying to hear him except for his other son. See, we had Speed, who has Quicksilver's power, obviously, Speed. And then we have Wiccan, who basically has Scarlet Witch's power or some sort of versions of her power. In some stories, she's actually more powerful than her. And we can already tell she's ridiculously powerful. But the little version of Wiccan is sitting there and he starts to hear his father's voice, and sorts of gets the feeling or the sense that Vision is in danger. So he runs to his mother immediately and he starts to tell her, Mom, Dad's in danger. Can you do something about it? She tries to focus, but even she can't figure it out at that point. Pietro tries to get involved and she blasts him away because it's a serious business. But she asks him to focus and, let her know exactly where Vision is. Once she sort of gets a honing in on him, she starts to expand the town. Oh yes, she gets so pissed off that she expands the barrier to the town, expands her reach, and from what it's looking like, is getting essentially way more powerful. What are we going to do now? She takes in half of Sword, including that two girls chick, Monica Rambeau, and a few other people who just been sitting there in the Sword base. Whew. So, what do you think of this episode? It was definitely a lot. Do you have any predictions, any theories? Do you think that Wanda's going to become the next big bad like me? Or do you think Mephisto is going to end up making an appearance? Let me know what you think in the comments. As always, please like, subscribe, do all that cute YouTube stuff for me. And I will come with you with my next review on WandaVision.